Welcome to Bullets and Brass. My name is Remy. Today we are talking about sight radius and how it affects your practical accuracy rather than just potential accuracy. Now, sight radius is the distance between your rear sight and your front sight. And what it affects, in the simplest terms, is how big a change you get by slight out of alignment differences. So for example, if you're lining up, there's a little hole in this one. See that? And there's a little post in the front there. If you're lining the two of those up on your target and you move the gun just a little bit, you'll be completely out of alignment. You can't see it. It is not even close. So your potential accuracy is taken advantage of, because the potential accuracy is how good is the rifle, the ammo, the weather, your hold, how steady are you? It is all the mechanics. It is all the things that are independent of your actual aim. Now, if you have a long sight radius, if your sight is just a little left or a little right, your front sight, I'm saying, the front sight post, just a little left, a little right, a little high, a little low, in this rear circle, it represents a very small change. At the other end of the spectrum, you have, and clear, we have a snub-nose revolver. Now, a snub-nose revolver is possibly one of the shortest sight radiuses you can get. And that's putting it gently, as in terms of having a sight. Because the rear sight is that little notch. I mean, I don't even know if you can see that on camera, that little groove. And your front sight is actually pretty significant. It's not bad. So what you're doing is you're lining up that groove in the front sight at your target. So you're pointing the front sight at the target through that groove somewhere. You're calling it good. So what does that do for your practical accuracy? Now, we'll pick that up again. So for example, if you're looking through there to there, a little difference equals a lot of movement, a lot of actual angle, because you have a very short distance between them. So if you move a little bit in your view, the actual degree movement is much larger than here. Here, you can almost think of it as, do I have something? I do. We've got a pen. Now, if I hold the pen at the ends and I move I'm going to hold it pointed at the camera here. I'm going to move my front index finger, an 1/8 of an inch, back and forth. Very little, right? If I hold it in the middle, see how much more that pen moves? That's your barrel. That is your flight path for the bullet, moving left and right based on just a little change. So if you've got a longer sight radius, your margin of error by being off a little bit in your sight picture is less. It's less important. It becomes less critical for a given quality of shot. Or it gives you the ability to be more precise. If your goal is to hit the target consistently, to have very precise groups, because, and I haven't covered this elsewhere, accuracy is how close to your point of aim did you hit. Precision is how small a group can you create. So if you shoot 5 times and you have a group that big, but instead of being over my face where you were aiming, if my face is the target, it's over here, your precision was decent, your accuracy sucks. If your group is this big, but it's centered around the target, your accuracy was good, your precision was horrible. Here's where it gets tricky. Sight radius only applies to iron sights. It applies to things that have a front and back sight that you're aligning visually. I'm pointing to it and I don't have it in frame. It only applies to things that have a rear sight and a front sight that you're aligning visually, that you're putting those two together and trying to hold it on target. If you're using an optical sight that has crosshairs, that has a red dot, this is much less important. It still matters in the sense that you visually want to keep it centered. Even red dots, if you're not directly in line with the sight, there is some loss of accuracy. They're not exactly on target, but the difference is minimal. It is not a cure-all. Certainly, if you are using a regular scope and you don't keep your cheek in the exact same place, your eye lined up perfectly, you will see your group size increase. However, the difference probably will not be as dramatic as if you're not doing it properly with iron sights. This is why I recommend for new shooters that they use a red dot, because your margin of error based on that kind of thing is minimized. It is significantly reduced. It's one less thing for them to worry about. Traditionally, people started with iron sights and they learned how to use them, and it was a skill. It was something that new shooters had to learn, and even now is treated as a fundamental concept of marksmanship. And people will say, front sight, front sight, front sight, focus on the front sight. And it's true. You focus on the front sight through the rear sight, keep it centered in a out of focus rear sight on an out of focus target, or with the target right above it, depending on your sighting setup. But your front sight is in focus. The target is not, the rear sight is not. The reason for that is because you have to be able to focus on that post to keep everything lined up. If that post goes fuzzy, you have no idea how out of whack you are. You don't know. And as I showed you with the pen, if you're a little out of whack on a short sight radius system, you're way off at any kind of distance. If you're a little out of whack with a longer system, if you can still see your front sight through here, at shorter ranges, you're still on target. You just don't have a great group. But anyway, off topic. Sight radius, it matters. It's your friend. Longer is better. I could make lots of jokes about that, but we'll stick with longer is better and take advantage of it. So that is all. Thank you for watching. Take care, have fun, and stay safe all.